Hi everybody, this is Karen Palmer and I am your host of Living on Purpose TV, and this is the place where you're going to get all the tips and strategies, all the tools that you need to live your life with more purpose and passion. Each week I get to interview some of the most incredible people that I feel are so inspiring. I'm so honored to bring to you a dear friend and also a very successful businessman who is going to share with us a little bit about his journey so that we can find ways that we can pull some of these little golden nuggets out and see if there's ways that we can be more successful. Because what a beautiful world it will be when people are all working with purpose and passion every day. So that's our goal for this show. And our guest is Joel Brown from Addicted to Success. And he is an amazing person who I am very excited to share with you. And just want to say hi, Joel, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Karen, thank you so much for having me. I love what you guys are doing over there at Live on Purpose TV. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for giving me back and sharing that with the world. So, good.
Thank you so much. We are honored to have you here. And what I'd just like to ask you is, what makes your work purposeful to you? Why is it purposeful? Why do you feel passionate? Why do you jump out of bed in the morning?
That's a great question. You know what? At first, I mean, this is something where I've like grown into the person I am today over the last 4 years. When I first started Addicted to Success, a lot of it was just about me. A lot of it was, hey, you know, these are the articles that I love, that I'm interested in. I actually started out because I wanted to bookmark interesting videos and articles on my own site. I didn't really think it was going to be as big as it actually is now. My biggest motivator was to make money and to leave my 9-to-5 job. You know, I was sick of driving to and from work, you know, 1 hour to work and 1 hour back every day. I wanted to get out of that little rut that I felt I was stuck in. For me, it was just about that. And it's funny because when I started to realize it was impacting, empowering, inspiring other people's lives, changing their lives, people coming out with transformations because of the advice that I was sharing, that's when I realized, like, whoa, this is a lot bigger than myself.
Yeah.
You know, I have some sort of a responsibility now that I'm sharing this. It's a gift, you know, it really is. It's a gift because it's able to change people's lives, because I think a lot of people feel lost. A lot of people, they want success, or what they think is success, but they just don't know how to get it. And initially, I started out with the idea of going in the angle of money, wealth, which I thought was success. And as I matured and as I grew, and the more people I connected with and the more spiritual I became, I found that, wait a minute, this isn't success. You know, there's a lot of parts to success. Like, everybody's definition of success is different, and it's subjective. But really, it's amazing to be able to, you know, empower and inspire other people to really find their passion. You know, find what lights them up, and to be able to achieve the feelings that they've always wanted to feel. So yeah, in a nutshell, I feel that that's really what my purpose is to empower and inspire others to live a life outside of the ordinary and the mundane.
And how would you describe Addicted to Success? What exactly is the blog and the website about?
Great question. So, Addicted to Success is a website where it's pretty much an all or nothing, right? It's for those aspiring entrepreneurs, or for people that are ready to make the decision to say, you know, I want something better in my life now. I'm sick of living the ordinary lifestyle. What can I do? The ones that are like committed to go, I want some change, I want some form of transformation. So that's the way we base our articles. It's like, it's dot points, it's simple, easy to understand, but it gives you strategies on how you can, you know, come out of this with some form of result or some form of achievement. I think there's a lot of sites out there where, you know, they kind of go halfway. You know, they give you the superficial stuff, but they don't really go, well, they say this is all good and this is that and this is, but it's like, all right, well, how do I achieve it? I need a
Right.
strategy. I need a vehicle to be able to get me from here to there. So yeah, every day we strive to try, refine the articles, tweak the articles, make sure that they have some form of strategy in place so that it helps to be able to achieve the success they desire.
That's awesome, and I love all the articles. There's so many. It's like it's unbelievable. It's just a wealth
Thank you.
of knowledge and the incredible contributors that you have too. There's just so many people that are sharing so much great content, and it's wonderful. Now, when you got started, and you've been doing this for a while now, and I'm just so grateful that you do share all your wisdom. What were some of the things that came up for you that were stumbling blocks that you were able to kind of turn into stepping stones? Some things that you might share with us so that we could just understand that we all get knocked down sometimes, and it's the people who are successful are the ones who just keep getting up, and you obviously did keep getting up. So can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yeah, for sure. So it would have been around about the 2-year mark. So I've been running the site for nearly 4 years now, but it was around about the 2-year mark that I got a little bit comfortable with the amount of money that I was making online each month. I'd left my 9-to-5 job. I was donating some money, which is great, giving back. I was traveling. I didn't have to work for a boss, so I had that freedom lifestyle. And I always had in my mind, like, all right, I'm just going to keep earning more and more money. It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. Then I had a few problems, like with Google changed their algorithm and it affected some of the SEO, and some of the traffic it didn't drop so much, but it stayed a bit stagnant because I was doing the right things in other areas like social media and marketing and getting my personal brand out there. But it just it kind of brought me back a bit, and it made me realize, like, nothing is forever. It's not like just because it's just right now doesn't mean it can always last. Like sometimes there's outside things in your environment that can come in and affect it, and then it's really up to you. Like when that happens, all right, what am I going to do? How am I going to shift? How am I going to adapt and change how the outcome really when the landscape changes too? So for me, it was just going in and going, all right, I can't just sit on my high horse or settle anymore. I need to really look at this and go, all right, what do I need to do? Start challenging myself again, because I challenged myself in the beginning, but then I started to kind of smooth sail, and it just reminded me that you can never, you can enjoy the smooth sails now and then, but you also need to get a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. So that's been probably a stumbling block, which I turned into a stepping stone, was really challenging myself to be more creative, challenging myself to put myself out there more and to be more of my authentic self. And when I started doing interviews, I started to really talk from the heart. I started, just filming myself without even caring, like doing any edits and going, this is like who I am, whatever. Putting out things that I maybe held back from because I thought it wasn't good enough. I started to get rid of that perfectionism, but still knew that I had a level of quality that I need to keep at. But yeah, just started to really like take more risks is what I did, and I started to be rewarded. I started helping more people. I started connecting with more people. I got rid of that scarcity mindset of thinking that if I collaborate with this person and this person that they're going to get a piece of the pie. I started to remove that from my thoughts, and I started thinking, like, how can we find a way where there's some form of like reciprocity where like I can share my value that I have, because a lot of people don't know their own value, and you can have most people, they have value. Everyone has a value somewhere. You need to find it and find a way that you can share that with others, and if you need to, in a form of like leverage or in a form of improving your life or other people's life, you can also receive value from them to move forward. So yeah, that's really what I've learned along the way. That's probably been one of the biggest lessons.
Yeah, and I find that it's really interesting to me. I help a lot of my clients with that whole struggle there that you're just talking about, that scarcity mindset, and the fact that a lot of people don't value themselves and they don't realize what they bring to the table, so they undervalue themselves. And so I always encourage people to make a list of all their incredible qualities, the things that they feel that they could really help a business with and that they can help somebody else with, and bring that before you go and approach somebody about a collaboration. Really understand that it's really that radio station, WIIFM, what's in it for me? You know, that's what people are listening to. And so we have to kind of figure out, you know, what's in it for the person that we're reaching out to, so that they can see the value in why it's important that we do collaborate and work together. So one of the things that I love what you're sharing, so thank you so much, because those are such valuable nuggets of wisdom for people who, you know, are sitting in the situation of, you know, they're paycheck to paycheck. They don't even know where the next, you know, meal is going to be coming from, and they're watching this and they're seeing you and they say, wow, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, maybe if I read some of those articles, and maybe if I start doing some of those action steps, maybe if I do some of those things, I tell people every week to grab a notebook. And so I'm asking you right now, if you're watching this, to please grab a notebook and get ready to write down these incredible tips, because Joel is doing this out of the goodness of his heart, and he's sharing with us, pulling back the curtain so we can hear some of these success secrets. And what I'd love to hear is, what is something that somebody who is wanting to have more purpose and more passion, what are some of the steps that you would suggest for them to start with?
Great question. And you know what's funny, I could really give you the cliche answer, which is, you know, follow your passion.
Yeah.
Find what you love. I mean, everyone says that, right? But I find that that's really difficult for someone who hasn't found their passion, and really easy for someone that has to tell someone they need to find their passion. I did it in the beginning. You know, when I left my 9-to-5 and I was making money from something that I loved, I was like, just find your passion. It's not that simple.
Right.
So, which I've come to know when I've, you know, asked people and I've worked with, you know, clients and you know, mentored and coached. It's a lot of people don't really know 100% what they want to do. So there is a little, I guess, like a formula or something, that a guideline that I like to really share with others, to, you know, so they can start implementing to find what they really love and to live more of a purposeful life. The first thing is, you want to understand and know, like, this year and every year after that, you can change it up every year, but this year, what do you want to feel? Like, what kind of emotions, feelings do you want to achieve this year? So if you start with that, because at the end of the day, like, success is just an emotion. You know, like, a lot of people get it confused. They say they want the car and they want all this money and that, but really, what comes after that? When you get that car, it's a certain emotion that you're trying to achieve. The car, after a while, loses its meaning and value. It's just, at the end of the day, like 10 years' time, or even 5 years or 2 years, it's just a car that sits in the garage, and it's a thing with wheels on it like every other car that's out there. So it's the emotion that you're trying to feel. So that's why I narrow it down and go, well, like, what emotions do you want to feel this year? Do you want to feel authentic? Do you want to feel joy? Do you want to feel inspired? You know, you just need to really narrow down those feelings. Write down, like, your top 3 feelings that you want to feel this year, and then work on that and focus on that. Like, and then you work your way back. If I want to feel like this, what do I need to achieve in my life this year to be able to achieve these feelings? So that's the first point. And I think the second thing as well is that you want to go out there and experience as many things in your life as possible. And then what you do is, then you start subtracting off that. So if you commit yourself to a year, write down a list. Always write down lists, right? I used to think it was kind of corny when I was in high school. You know, going through school, they're like, oh, write your little goals down and that, and they didn't really explain why it's important. But really, when you write it down, it solidifies and hardwires a lot more, especially if you're doing it every morning or every night. So it's really important. All the pros do it. You ask the billionaires, the multimillionaires, you ask some of the most successful leaders in history, they all did it. They all wrote it down. You know, they made it part of their plan for success. So really write it down and go, I'm going to commit to doing this, and this year, something new, something that you can experiment with. And then at the end, once you have done those things, start subtracting. Start looking back and going, what was I so much, like, what was something that I thought was going to be great but isn't so great? Remove that from your life. So you don't need to go back and do that again. You've already experienced it. But then the experiences that you felt, the emotion that you're trying to achieve, it might be joy, it might be happiness, it might be love, compassion. If you went and started working at soup kitchens and you never did that before, you started that's on your list, and you started feeling so much love and compassion, that's what you were trying to achieve from the very start, maybe that's one to keep in your list. You know, that's what you want to start sticking to. That's your experience that you've committed to and that you find a lot of love, compassion, and joy from. The next step as well is the passion part, which is, you know, what are you good at, and also what do you enjoy? Because there's a lot of things in my life that I enjoy, but I'm not so good at. Like, I enjoy playing basketball, but I'm not going to go play for the NBA tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to cut it. Probably, you know, my age and also my height, there's a few restrictions, but I just know in my heart it's like, hey, this is something that's going to be more of a hobby, so that's what I'm going to stick with. It's not going to be so much a career, something that I'm going to be spending hours each day and a majority of my life being a part of. So yeah, what are you good at, and also what do you want to enjoy? They're the two things. They need to meet. Those two circles, good at and enjoy, they need to cross paths. In between there, that's your passion.
Yeah.
All right. When you found your strengths, like areas that you really excel in, you know you're good at it, because what we want to do is we want to have those little achievements. It's those little achievements that makes us feel good. You get that emotion. You're like, I achieved something today. You don't look at it and go, what didn't I do today? You're like, what did I do today? This is great. I feel amazing. So the only way that you're going to feel the passion for what you're doing is if you get those little achievements going, right? So that's why it's important to find what you're good at and also what you enjoy. And the last one, I know you said 3 points, but this
That's
is
fine.
I want to throw a fourth.
It's good.
Yeah, I want to throw a fourth one in there, and that's persistence, right? So it's creating habits each day, each morning. And when you want to first implement a habit, it can be difficult to implement a huge habit, or even multiple habits to begin with. So that's why we always say start small. You know, start with a small habit. Something that I do is I go out every morning and I skip. It sounds, you know, like not so difficult. You know, I also go to the gym and I do other physical activities, but getting out and skipping each morning when you first wake up, it was difficult in the beginning for me. I was like, oh man, I don't really want, you know, I'm still trying to wake up. But I'm lucky I have my beautiful fiance there pushing me along, like, baby, come on, you said you're going to skip, and I'm pushing her to go for a walk down by the river, you know, to go and do that too. So we push each other, and it helps. If you can have somebody that holds you accountable, that's even better. So, you know, I get out, I do my skip. The first time I did it, I did maybe 20 skips or 30 skips, and I was like, all right, that's enough, I've done it for today. Then I made sure the next day I did it again. I was like 40, 50 skips. Now I'm doing I don't even count anymore. I do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of skips. I can go for 5 minutes straight.
That's awesome.
It's just natural. I just kind of close my eyes and just skip away. I'm just thinking of other stuff during the day, and my body is automatically doing it. The reason why I do it is because it's good for you, good for your heart, energy levels. But it really wakes your body up, wakes up your physiology, and in turn it wakes your mind and everything else, right?
Right, it rewires your brain. It
really does. Yeah.
Doing a new habit, actually, they've done studies, any new habit opens a new neural pathway in your brain. So if you start doing that habit, you're actually, the same thing with meditation, when you're actually doing these new practices, you are actually changing your brain.
Yes, you are, and we got that. What do they call it? Neuroplasticity, where your brain can change. It even changes shape and form, and it rewires new pathways. It's amazing. The brain is amazing. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that, actually, you should check out a guy by the name of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, I love him.
To actually, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I had the chance to interview Joe, and it was incredible. It was one of the best interviews I've been a part of, because when I asked him about motivation, or I asked him about flow, it wasn't just a superficial answer where it's oh yeah, to get motivated I do this or that. He's like, what happens in your brain when you're motivated is this happens, and then in your mind this changes. And he told me all the scientific facts, and studies that he does on thousands of people and like what changes in the brain. I was like, wow, I was just blown away. But yeah, going back to the fourth step, persistence, habits, and also gratitude. So being grateful. They've shown, scientific studies show that, you know, it increases. I don't know the exact percentage, but they said at least 20 to 40% of your day or something like that. It increases your happiness because you're reflecting on what you're grateful for. And what happens is, as humans, I think it's about 78% of our thoughts are negative, negative self-talk. And
Yeah.
the truth of the fact is that, like, if we had friends that were talking to us as bad as we actually talk to ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends.
Right.
We just wouldn't make friends with anyone because it's just it's not good, man. It's not good for the soul. So yeah, it's really important to practice those gratitudes. Focus on what you do have, not what you don't have, and what you look forward to. And you know, we just tie that in on the fourth part because I feel that, you know, persistence is something that is so underrated. It's all about the hustle. It's hustling and getting out there, getting into the trenches. As humans, we're really good at underestimating things quite a lot. Like when you start a business, you think it's going to take a year. It's probably going to take 3 years to really get it going.
Right.
You know, you spend, you know, $10,000 in your marketing campaign. Maybe you might have to spend $30,000 to really achieve what you like. We're very good at underestimating, you know, distance and time and everything. So yeah, just know that at the end of the day, you got to be patient. You got to be persistent and patient with your passion, with your experiences and how you want to feel. And trust me, you're going to get there. But you need to stick to that plan and you need to put in the action and make it happen.
Awesome. That's so awesome. I'm so grateful that you shared those incredible steps because, you know, I think the thing about it is when we talk about that neuroplasticity, when we start to do these action steps, people will say, oh, I knew that. Oh, I need to be grateful. Oh, yes, I need that. That's right. I need that. But when we actually start doing these action steps, and like you said, we write down the plan, we put down what our emotions are and how we're going to feel when we achieve that, and acting as if it's already happened, you know, just acting like, wow, and then I'll do this. I like to play a game with myself of, wouldn't it be great if? And then I just let my imagination run wild, because when we're letting our imagination run wild, that's when the creativity really flows. And that's when we start to get all these amazing, I think, divine inspiration. We get the divine inspiration. And a lot of it has to do with, you know, how do we really show up in the world? How do we allow ourselves to show up in the world? So I just am so grateful and so honored that you took the time to be with us today. It really means so much to me. You know, Joel is my mentor. He actually is the founder and started Tribal Learn, which is a group that is through Mind Valley, and he is he reaches out to us who want to be bloggers, who want to be able to get their word out. I didn't even know what a blog was until I met Joel. I didn't even know what it. I was listening, and I listened to him, and he had this beautiful membership that he was offering, where he could, you know, we could ask questions, and he would answer them, and we could you know, collaborate with other tribes members and talk with them about their blog, and then share their blog, and they share your blog, and it's just the most incredible experience. And the fact that Joel took the time to be here today is like a dream come true for me. So I believe that we can watch this show and think to ourselves, anything's possible. Every time that we reach out to somebody and they reach back to us, it is a divine assignment, and we are making a difference in this world. Each one of us has gifts, and we have a reason for why we're here. And so I hope that this show gave you a beautiful, motivational feeling of upliftment, because that's how I feel right now. I just feel like, oh my God, I'm going to do all those steps that Joel said. And I, as I was listening to you, I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's so right, you know. I do need to have a plan, and it's one thing to you know, believe, oh yeah, that it's great to, you know, that's a great idea, but you got to write it down. You really do got to write it down, because those ideas are coming at full speed all the time, you know, and then before you know it, you go, what was that idea I had? What was that I was thinking about? And if you have it written down, you can go back and say, oh yeah, now, and this is the next step in that. So, all right, so this is the end of our show, and I just want to ask if you have any last word that you'd like to share.
I just want to leave you with one of my quotes: see the invisible, believe the incredible, and achieve the impossible.
Awesome. What a great way to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. And also, you can find me on Facebook. I have my own account on there under Joel Brown, so just search that in Facebook and yeah, follow me. And let's keep in the loop. Let's keep in touch.
And it's Addicted to Success, and with a number 2, right? Addicted to Success with a number 2.
.com.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, I should have put that up for you. All right. Well, let's say goodbye right here, and we want to thank you again for taking the time for being here with us, and so grateful. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste means I see the light in you, and you see the light in me.
Thank you so much.